Good evening, dudes and more dudes. Welcome back to the Pod of the East. I'm your host, Evan Mantle, and joining me as ever is the silver tongue sage himself, Jordan Spencer.
Silver tongue sage.
Yeah, I'm gonna keep coming up with new ones, and we'll see what makes you laugh. All
Did
right.
you write that one before now? Or did you make it up?
I mean, I no, I wrote. I write the. Well, a magician never shares his secrets. What you want me to reveal the sausage making that goes on? Just enjoy the sausage. Put
Okay,
the
okay,
sausage in your
okay,
mouth and
okay,
enjoy it. All right,
okay,
let's go.
okay, okay. I'm not often referred to as a silver tongue sage, so I'll take it.
Well, talk to your wife about that then.
Okay. This is PG. PG.
This
Kids might be listening to this podcast. Keep it
kid,
PG.
at this point, kids should not be listening to this podcast. This is Pod of the East After Dark, apparently. Uh, and that's what
That's bad.
happens when you forget to record and get notified an hour and a half later. And yeah, my bad. Sorry about that.
No, you're fine.
Anyways, so we are coming up on the close of our season. We're now entering into the divisional rematch stage of the regular season, and everything's coming down to the wire. We've got 3 games left for everybody until the playoffs happen. And as you were saying in your newsletter, Jordan, we've got 2 people solidly in, although if you continue to insist on losing the way you're doing, maybe only one. And we've got 2 people pretty much solidly out. In fact, I think mathematically, I think they're both are truly eliminated. No tiebreaker miracles, nothing. Um, but yeah, so um, let's go in and let's look at everybody, how they're doing, what they've got on tap, and where it goes from here. Let's start just looking at matchups.
You just
What
pick a
matchup do you
division.
want?
Can we
Say,
pick a division and go through the division like Central,
yeah,
South,
sure.
North? Let's
Yeah,
go.
sure.
Let's
Let's what
go
what,
ahead.
what do you want to go with?
Why don't we do let's do the South. I think the South is the most interesting.
All right. It's funny because I actually think it's the least interesting, but let's get into it. All right. So our first matchup that we'll look at from the South, we'll look at let's see, we'll look at the room where it happens versus not even mediocre. We got Kirk versus Bradley. So yeah, what do you see here?
Oh,
What what
my
what do you
bad.
see?
I
What do you
actually
see
did
going
mean
on?
to say I did mean to say Central is the most interesting. I said South. I was looking at the wrong
Uh,
slide. So my bad. But we're in the South, so we'll go with the
Good
South.
job. Good job. We're gonna stick with the South and make them feel good. Now
Make it
that now
work.
that
Make it
now
work.
that we've completely just slandered them.
Totally. So
So yeah,
here's the question I have. So between Josh and Kirk, so Josh sits 7-4, Kirk 6-5. Kirk did that blockbuster trade, right, for Josh Allen.
I was
Um,
in on that too. I don't know if
so
you know that. I was in on Josh Allen. I was working with Zach, and Zach actually told me. Zach told me like Kirk is in on him too. Kirk's willing to up the ante. What do you got? And then
wow.
Zach sent both of us actually, instead of like kind of negotiating over text, he sent both of us a trade proposal. And by the time I tried to get back to to countering his proposal,
Right?
he Kirk had already accepted the initial proposal from Zach, and so I was like, "Well, what about that, Scott?" and not a bad
Yeah.
second prize, not a bad second prize, but
Yeah.
yeah, Kirk, man, that Josh Allen deal. Whew.
That's interesting. Yeah, and it's interesting too this week too. So he's playing Bradley, and
Yep,
then who is let's see, Josh is
and that
playing
makes Josh
Zach.
play Zach. Yeah,
Zach, yep. So what's interesting, so they're both sitting, I mean, obviously they're sitting really pretty, right? So Josh needs one more game to for sure lock it in. He's got 3 games left in the season. He's gotta just trip and fall into that, right? I mean, if he plays Bradley or Zach, if
you would think, and Zach just traded Kyron Williams to me tonight for Trey Benson, who Trey Benson's a value keeper,
whoa.
man. Yeah, I view Trey Benson as a super high value keeper. I view Kyron Williams as a really high value running back, and that's the
Yeah.
only reason I made that deal. Like, because honestly, even this year, Trey Benson, his running in the final few weeks here in the playoffs, it's really good. I just I felt like I needed more certainty on that knowing
Yeah.
Benson's coming back, and Josh Jacobs may or not be playing Sunday. And you may already have the answer to this by the time you're listening to this. I don't know. Um, but
Well,
at
it's
this point, I don't know. So Kyron Williams, I need a win, I need points, and Trey
Yeah.
Benson's out for the week still. So
It's
he'll
interesting
be an
too
$11
because
keeper for Zach, and I think it's a great way building block for his team.
so I had sent over a couple trades like a week or two ago for Kyron Williams to him as
Okay.
well, and just
Mm-hmm.
we just could not come on something that would work out because he was looking for long-term stuff,
Mm-hmm.
and I was looking for something this season because I wanted a little more dependability. So it's interesting
Absolutely.
you came out on top with him, so that's awesome.
Yeah. What did you have? What were you looking at? I'm
I was gonna send
always
I
curious.
think it was hold on Zach Charbonnet and Jamison Williams. So I was gonna
Okay.
give him a better wide receiver that would be a good keeper plus a doable court or doable running back this year, and it just wasn't coming together.
Just didn't work.
Um, no, but I'm really curious too. Like his team being revamped that much, like if Zach, I mean Zach could like bump check either Josh or Kirk, right? And then if
We'll
Josh
say Kirk probably gets the worst end of this deal between me and Zach on this one because Josh is this hurts Josh or this hurts Zach this week. Benson's not going to be in, and Kyron Williams is no longer going to get points for his team. And it's like it's a great matchup. It's like a top five fantasy matchup, maybe even a top three. So
yeah.
it's going to help Zach. Or excuse me, it's going to help Josh this week. Plus, if Trey Benson is back in the next week or two, whenever Zach plays Kirk, then he's still got a running back who's going to be a number one hammer back that Kirk is going to have to face. Like not quite as good as Kyron Williams, but
hmm
it's no longer a hole in his lineup. Assuming because everybody, from what I've read, Benson's expected back in week 13, but that and $5 will get you a cup of coffee at Starbucks. So
Right. Well, I'm trying to look at both lineups here. So between the two of them, like between Josh and Kirk, I think Josh is at least going to get 8. I think Kirk, I think after, well, the thing is like, okay, we're already seeing, so this is recording this Saturday night. We already played the Thursday night game. So right now, Bradley's projected 102. Kirk, because Josh Allen did not do good on Thursday night.
no, he did not.
He
Neither
had
did Nico Collins. I mean,
Nico Collins. So they both underperformed, but then you still got Christian McCaffrey, Derrick Henry, and Brock Bowers, right? And it's like any one of those three could have crazy games, so they could make up the difference. I think Kirk's gonna still pull it out, but Kirk's had a lot of games this season where he didn't. So
yeah.
it's hard to say, but I think Kirk will at least get to 7. And this brings up another question I was going to ask because you've mentioned this before.
Mhm.
I think you're right because you've said before there's a strong chance a 7-7 team could sneak in.
It's
That
almost impossible at this point for a 7-7 team not to like mathematically. It's
yeah.
not impossible, but like it would be a really really weird convergence of circumstances for a 7-7 team not to make the playoffs.
So here's a question I have, and maybe we'll punt it, but like just keep it in
Okay.
mind now because I think this will be more relevant when we're talking about the Central Division. But here's a question I have: is we've had this before, but do you think there's a chance we'll have somebody with a losing record make it into the playoffs? That's not 7-7. That would be like 6-8.
Let's punt that to the central because I think that's relevant there. I agree with you. Let's circle back on that, but yeah. So let's keep it on the south there.
Yeah,
I think Bradley. Let's just kind of focus on Bradley and Zach for just a brief second. Um,
yeah.
I, I didn't really look at any draft values or whatever, but
Mhm.
do you even think Bradley's got any keepers? I mean, maybe Jackson Dart.
Oh, let's see here. Yeah, I think he does. The last time I checked. I don't know their values, so that's the only thing to say. Emmanuel Wilson, depending on how the rest of the season turns out, was a waiver wire like flyer, right? He's starting for I think Josh Jacobs. Depending on how he turns out, he could be a huge steal. Like there's a lot of reports coming out on him.
Yeah, but that's
Iran,
for this year. Like Josh Jacobs has a long term contract, and everything I've heard says Green Bay is very happy. I mean, it could be. I just don't see. I don't necessarily see it as
right.
long term.
I'm just saying, like, if you were asking about, like, is there any, like, long-term stuff? Like, Emmanuel Wilson could be a huge deal. It just, we just don't know yet. So we just don't know in terms.
It's a possibility. It's look. Did I want Emmanuel Wilson on the waiver wire this week? Hell yeah. I would be dubious about potential keeper value, but you never know. Yeah, you're right. It is a chance. It
The
is a legit chance.
one for sure that's a keeper is Aronde Gadsden. Like, that also is another waiver wire guy. And, like, that one, like, I think he's going to be a stud. Obviously done really well this year. But I think he'll be a stud next year for sure.
Yeah, I can see that. I My philosophy is don't unless you're paying for like Brock Bowers or Trey McBride, um, or Sam Laporta from last season. Um, don't pay for a tight end, but like if you view Gadsden as ascending to that tier, then absolutely. Um,
Yeah.
but otherwise, like AJ Brown is expensive. He was 46 this year. Ashton Genty was 74. The cupboard's bare. It's gonna be a start over. I think
Well,
for Bradley.
let's hold off on like the long-term stuff until later on. Let's just talk focus on like just playoff stuff for right
Oh, all
now.
right.
But I think Josh for sure. I think Josh is going to get 8 wins. I think he's going to
Yep.
be Kirk.
Yeah.
I think Kirk is at least going to get 7.
He'll get
But it's like,
seven at least. And his point total after his outburst against you last week, it's going to be tough to keep him out at 7 wins.
yeah,
There's only 3 games left. He would have to have 3 pretty bad games and win, what, one of them? Um,
but he's done that, right? He's had those kinds of things. So it's like that's what's hard to say. But I just think if you flip a coin, I think he's going to be 8 wins. I think he's going to be in the
I
playoff.
would I would bet 8 wins, because I
Yeah.
bet you he still wins this week, and I bet you he beats Zach, and him and Josh. Who knows? Like he could easily beat Josh. He could have a great week again. So
So do
yeah,
you think he's
I
going to
don't.
go?
I think they're easily both getting 8 wins plus. I think Josh actually gets 9. I think Josh, because what is Josh at now? He's at 7.
7,
Yeah,
7-4.
I think Josh gets at least 9 and wins the division.
Do you think Josh will get to 10?
I mean, that's basically asking, do I think he'll beat Kirk? Um,
Yeah. That's hard because those two, like, I
I think
mean,
my answer is no. I think Kirk wins. I think Kirk
okay.
wins that game, actually.
Yeah.
And which I think means that I think Kirk wins the division now, which is, yeah, not what I said initially, but the Josh Allen trade really, really kind of changes things for me.
Yeah.
Um,
I no, I'm in the same spot too. So I think Josh will eventually line up with like maybe 9 wins, right?
I think
Kirk.
Kirk and Josh end up at 9 wins, and I think Kirk wins the
Oh,
division based on the division tiebreaker.
okay. Yeah, okay, that's probably about right. Yeah, so that means Kirk
Yeah.
would be on top, so he'll probably second or third seed, and
I
then
think he'll be
Josh will
second
be
seed because the only way he's not second seed is if I also win out. And then I also overcome him with point totals. I don't think either of those are likely. Spoiler alert for the Central talk. So I think the winner of the South gets the bye, and I think it's going to be Kirk right now. Um, I'd feel better if Josh Allen had had a decent week and wasn't making
right.
this week's current matchup competitive, but whatever.
Interesting. So that means
So that,
basically, yeah. So if
yeah,
we're
so that's my South. I think it's going to be Kirk at 9, Josh at 9. Josh, I think is going to be the 5 seed, um,
Mhm.
which means the loser of the North Division is going to be the 4 seed. We'll talk about that when we get to the North. Um, yeah.
Let's
Do you have anything else on the South? Because otherwise, we can
no, I think
transition this to the Central.
no, that's exactly what I was going to say too. I think
So
I'm right where you are as well. And now that I'm looking at it too, the one thing I would add is that if you look at the point differential, because I think you're right, they're both going to be end up at 9, right? If that's the case, Kirk's currently at 15-13 in total
well,
points, and
it,
Josh is.
it's so it's not about the point differential in division for at least for the
Oh,
division winner. The first tiebreaker is division record, and because they currently have the same division record, if Kirk wins out, if
right.
he wins 3 games, he'll have the tiebreaker.
Let me
So
look at that real quick. Okay, so they're both 2-1 in the division. So you're
mhm.
right. So if they did, so
So
Kirk would be on top. You're right. Okay,
yeah.
but let me do point this one thing out though, because it is still worth pointing out is that
Hmm.
Kirk is at 15-13. Josh is at 14-52. So
Hmm.
if it comes until if they don't win the division, right? For that fourth, fifth, sixth place spot, or yeah, fourth place with sixth spot. Um, yeah, I just think Kirk's gonna have more points at the end of the day. So I think you're
Yeah,
right.
and I think Josh is going to be okay because I think he's still going to get to 9 wins, and I don't think anybody else. I, I think he'll at least be the 4 or the 5 seed because I don't think the 6 seed is going to be anywhere close to 9 wins. Like I don't think it's mathematically even possible,
Hmm.
because of people having to play each other in divisional matchups and stuff. So, yeah. So we've got. I think we're both looking at. We think Kirk is going to win. I wouldn't wouldn't mortgage my house on it. I not at all.
No, like
Uh,
that's what crazy is how
it's
much
tight. It's tight.
yeah, how
Um,
much parity the league is in. But speaking of parity, like the ultimate place of parity, and this is what I was going to initially, I just mixed up. I was looking at the wrong one. Is the Central Division. So your
yes,
division.
yes, we
This is the
are
one. Like I thought about this. I thought about putting this in the newsletter. It's like your division is like the killing
chaos.
field. Like I mean, it's like
Chaos.
you all have a long sword and you're just going at each other in circles. It's like
It's a
who's gonna
Mexican
wind up?
standoff. It's like,
Yeah.
yeah. I don't.
So
I
so
would love to not
tell me.
be doing this,
Okay, so tell
especially
me about
having
your
mortgaged my
division.
future.
Tell
Yeah.
me about your
So in
division.
my division currently, I'm in the lead. We've got a 6-5 record, and everybody else in the division is at 5-6.
Yep.
I have a 2-1 division record, and Adam has a 2-1 division record. The other two, Paul and Nathan, have a 1-2 division record.
Yep.
This is one of those where we were talking. You were bringing up Kirk's point totals in the last one. This is a division where actually point totals may matter for the division winner. It's that crazy. Um,
Yeah.
the scenarios are complicated. So let me just kind of run through it. If I win out, I win the division. That's the easiest scenario. The other easiest scenario is if Adam wins out, Adam wins the division. Those are the only two people that control their destiny, is me and Adam. Everybody
Mm.
else is going to need some help. Um, oh, that's not entirely true.
Well, you could lose
No,
one
that's
game.
that. Yes. So that's right. So Adam, it is only Adam and I need to win. Don't only Adam and I control our own destiny if we win out. If Nathan wins out, he will almost certainly need at least me to lose a second game, and he
Mm.
needs realistically, he needs me to lose to the loser of Adam and Paul because his low point totals are
Yeah.
so low that
Mhm.
he's already 1-2 in the division. So he'll only get to 4-2 in the division.
Right.
More than likely he's going to be tied with another 4-2 team, division, central 4-2 team, and he's not going to have the point total tiebreaker. So like it's going to be really tough for Nathan to win the
Right.
division because of those low point totals. Paul,
Yeah.
it's a little bit easier. Paul, if he wins out, he either needs me to lose a second game,
Hmm.
or he needs to have finish with more points scored than I do.
Mm.
And it's tight. We are what
It's
are we? We're like
so tight.
10 points separating each other. We're no,
It's
we're
so
14.
tight.
We are 14 points separate. So Paul is 14 points to the good on me in points for, but that's 1 week. Like that could be nothing.
Right.
Um,
Yeah.
so
Three of
so
you
like
are essentially like one player having a super week. That's it.
yeah,
That's the only difference.
yep. Yep. And so Paul, like I said, Paul doesn't control his own destiny technically. I like his chances if he wins out. I think he's, 90-95% chance of doing it if he wins out, because it probably means his team's played well and he's scoring points, and
Right.
he would have beaten me, which is already that's increasing our point differential already. So now there's only 2 games for me to catch
Right.
up on him, and he would be winning those games. That's tough for me to do.
Right.
I mean, hopefully with some of my trades that I made, I'm scoring more points, hopefully, but like that's tough.
Well, and
So
one of the things I think let's point out a couple things too, real quick,
yeah,
right? So I think what makes your division look so tight, and I think this is a little deceiving, is actually Nathan, right? Because he's 5-6, right? It looks like oh they're all bunched and really close, but the reality is like you pointed it out. If like Nathan has to win purely by wins, so
yeah.
he's counting on other people to lose, which is like it's not a winning strategy. His
Mhm.
point total is so bad compared to everybody else that literally if he's tied to anybody, he will always drop. So
He's
if he
pretty
goes
much losing the tiebreaker. Yeah,
right.
every time.
So last week, like he was, or week 2 weeks ago, he was ahead of Paul, he was ahead of Adam, all these people, right? And then what happened? They all tie up, and immediately the point totals just
Kill him.
evaporate any lead he
Yeah,
has.
yeah,
Like he
yep.
cannot win. So like he cannot win by just points alone. He's got to
He,
win by wins, and that's just not a winning long
he
term.
actually has to win out to have a chance at the playoffs, and even then, it's only a chance because if he doesn't win out, due to tiebreakers, he will not be able to make the playoffs as a 7-7 team. He won't. He
He's got
somebody
to
else
win.
will finish 7-7 and they'll finish above him. And
So
that's not just a
really,
division thing. That's a division or wild card. He needs to win out.
so
And even
really
if he
for
wins out,
him,
he may need to win out to get a wild card. Like
this is
that's what he's
division
looking
where
for.
like if anything weird happens, like it's gonna happen here, right? Because the reality is like he
Mm-hmm.
has to win out that way, but the reality is that like if any one game this next week, if he's gone, it's almost certain he's done. That's not true of anybody else in that division though, right? Like even someone as crazy as Paul could be one of those 7-7 teams. Like if he could lose one
Absolutely.
game, but I
Yeah.
think Nathan, if he loses one game, it's over.
Can't. No, no. Nathan is done if he
And
loses
let's
one game.
And can we also just point this out? Like from the depths, Paul is back. Like he may not, it's not over, it's not written, but like this dude, like we've for week after week after week been writing him off, and then he's
Look,
somehow holding on.
am I happy that he killed Zach's hopes and dreams so that I could get Dak and Kyron Williams? Like, I'm not sad that I have Kyron Williams and Dak Prescott. Would I have been happy if Zach had killed off Paul's hopes and dreams and that there was really no chance of a zombie Paul coming back to bite me in the rear? I'd be thrilled about that too. So
So okay, let me ask you this.
I'm not looking forward to seeing Paul. That
Okay,
he's no, not right now.
you're a good person to ask. I was going to ask in the context of the playoffs, so just keep that in mind. So I'm
Okay.
asking in the context of playoffs for just any other
Mhm.
player. But what about you as someone in the division? Who are you more scared of? Are you more scared of Paul or are you more scared of Adam?
I think I'm more scared of Paul, but I feel like that might be name recognition, you
Yeah.
know, which
Yep.
is weird because Adam was awesome last year. And like Adam's been really good for the past few years.
Right.
Like Adam's team's really good. I mean, he's got CD Lamb, he's got Jamar Chase, who won't be spitting on somebody this week. So he's going to play next week against me.
That's
You
true.
know, I,
What a crucial week not to have him,
yeah,
right?
but you know what? He picked up Jaden Higgins, started Jaden Higgins, and Jaden Higgins got almost 14 points. I mean, yeah, you'd rather have Jamar Chase, who's probably scoring 18 to 20, but he did the best he could. Like that's a great pickup. It's a great pickup from Adam.
Yeah,
Um,
that's right. It's good management.
yeah, yeah. Paul's just it's such a good team. Those receivers are so good. Um, and he finally found the running back or two.
Yep.
Um, I'm glad that it looks like Kamani Vidal is probably not starting at because of Amari and Hampton should be back after the Week 12 bye, but he's got Dowdle and Hall now, and like those are two great running backs. I, I think I'm more scared of Paul, but
Okay.
like that's like, are you scared of Mothma or Godzilla? Like, yeah, the answer is yes. The answer is yes. I'm scared of both.
Equals both. Yeah.
Yeah, like
It's interesting.
yeah.
Well, on the whole thing, we've been talking about everybody else in the
But
division. What about
let's ask Paul and Adam. Are you more scared of the other opponent or of me?
yeah.
That's
No,
the real question here.
that's
That's
a
the real
legitimate
question.
question. Let's
It's
look
not a
at your
legitimate
team.
question.
Okay, so we know their team, right? We know they've got something there. It's possible.
They've got some pieces.
Where do you feel about your team? Or actually, maybe I should talk about your team. Hold on a second. Let me pull up your
Yeah,
team. I want to see what you got here.
I
There's a
feel like my
little,
team's the best.
a little. Okay, so you got Dak.
I like
You
that.
got
I like Dak.
you got Devontae, James Cook, who's literally cooking. Kyron Williams. That's a good 1-2 combo for your running backs. Like
Hmm.
stellar. Hunter
Hmm.
Henry. He's done pretty good, right? Lately, he's done okay.
So what I'm doing,
Okay.
I'll share secrets with my competitors. What I'm doing on the tight ends is I've got three tight ends, and I'm kind of rolling them right now based on matchup. Hunter Henry is probably my least favorite of my three, but
Mm,
Cincinnati is god awful in their defense, and
hmm
specifically their defense against tight ends. So he gets the start this week.
And you
Otten,
got
if the Bucks continue to be hurt, Otten's always a good play. And then Juwan Johnson, it's just such a narrow pass tree
mm,
in New Orleans, which is why I'm going to start Chris Olave and Juwan Johnson some week and be okay with it. Yeah, because anytime you can start the New Orleans two pieces from the New Orleans Saints offense, that's what you want to do.
well, I'm looking at your running back situation though. So if you got James Cook,
Yeah,
Kyron Williams, Josh Jacobs, right? And then if you
Omari
got
and Hampton
Dak,
coming off of IR.
Right. If you got, I mean, that is a stellar group here. Like
It's a
I
very
think
nice stable,
the only
and I
thing,
can only play three of them.
right, the only thing you're weak on, maybe one of your wide receivers. Yeah, really, it's one of your wide receivers. The tight end is about average for everybody else. So really, that's a pretty well-rounded team.
I mean, I need Olave and Adams to just stay healthy, is what I need.
Yeah.
I desperately need them to stay healthy because I understand that Michael Wilson is not going to be long for relevancy.
Man.
Look, it was a fun ride last week. My gosh, crushing Frank's dreams on the back of some no-name rando Madden 26 generated scrub. Like that was so fun, so much fun.
And
But
for everyone
Marvin
who's
Harrison,
not, for everyone who's not on our football fantasy text where we text each other about stuff, do you want to share like what the prayer you sent like the morning of the football
I,
game between you and
I
Frank?
I honestly don't remember, but I'm assuming it was something
Okay,
like low
okay.
score and the Eagles win.
So Evan was in a drunken stupor, and this is what he texted. He was not a drunken stupor, I'm just making that up. But he texted, please, I want the Eagles to win and beat Frank, but I can't have both. Something like that. It
That's right, I did. Yes.
was cute. It was cute. It was like
It was desperation. It was not a great feeling, but Michael Wilson was a good feeling. He was a very
someone
good feeling.
someone was
But
feeling.
but Adam has Marvin Harrison Jr., who will also be back. So like let's throwing it back to the division, like cool, my fun story for a week, maybe 2 weeks since Harrison's out again. But Harrison's gonna be back next week. And yeah. And I'm
I
left with
mean,
the spare part. So
your division is the craziest, and I think your division will determine those like bottom slots, like everything. So yours is actually the most interesting to watch, and nobody. I don't think. I
I
mean, do you think
stand by my
anybody?
bold prediction. I stand by my bold prediction. Two of
Well,
us are getting in.
do
Two of
you
us are getting
think
in. I
do
believe
you
it.
think there's going to be an eight team in your division, an eight-team win?
Yes.
Okay,
Because I have six
you
wins. So
six.
yes.
Everyone's got five.
I believe I'm gonna it's gonna bite me in the butt. This is gonna be on freezing cold takes, but I believe I'm gonna win this week. I think I find a way. And then I either beat Adam or Paul, or the winner of Adam and Paul wins out, is my view on how this goes.
I can see that.
And that so one of those two teams is getting 8 wins, and maybe both of those two teams are getting 8 wins, right? Like it could be that
Mm,
Adam and Paul, or Adam wins out, gets to 8 wins. I lose to Adam, but I beat Paul, and I'm still at 8 wins. That would put me at the 6 seed rather than the 3 seed.
mm,
And then if it's Paul who wins out, and I beat Adam, then it's all about points.
right.
But again, I'm still probably the 6 seed. Um,
But
but
it's the most interesting division in my opinion. Like right now.
But
So,
I mean, is there anything else you want to kind of cover in that, or because if
nope.
not, let's transition to the north, the
The
east,
best, the
the
best.
east. Let's transition to the
But
east,
notice, you
the
kept calling it
east,
the North and the whole time.
the
You kept
east.
saying the North.
That's it's your devil silver sage tongue.
Okay,
Yeah. So, anyways, I do think that the two from the Central are going to get in. However, do your damn job, Jordan Spencer. Win some freaking games. Act like
okay,
the
okay,
act like the
okay,
high point scorer for the
okay.
year that you are.
I did some math. Okay, I did some math. You ready for the
You went to
math?
PHC. You can't do math.
Okay, I compared two different numbers and saw which one's bigger. I think I can
Oh,
handle it. Okay, okay.
okay,
Here's
okay.
what I found out, right? So if
Uh-huh.
you go, I think I need to share. Let me share this real quick. Let me go to my thing. I'm going to share a couple key things that nobody may have noticed. Let me see if I can share this. Hold on. One sec. Oops, hold on. So let me share my screen. And right side. Okay, I'm over here. Do you see what I'm seeing?
Yeah, but can you do it as just the whole screen? They're seeing
Oh,
you.
let me
It makes
zoom
it too
in
small.
just a second. Hold on. Let me do this. How about this? That makes it bigger, right?
That makes it bigger.
Okay.
All right.
All right. So notice points for is in the middle, points against is on the left. So points for Jordan, 1583. David, 1660 or 1562. Okay. Points against Jordan, 1520. David, 1231. Now, I've noticed this and I'm like, wait a second. If I had had the same schedule week to week that David had, what would my rank be? What would he have if he went against mine? So my score, so if I this the my win-loss record would be 9-2, and he would be 8-3 as well. So he would have my record actually if he played mine. So just to say, just FYI, if he had as hard a schedule as I had, right, he would be the same.
It sounds like a lot of whining over there. Do you want some cheese with that?
Just pointing out some facts, pointing out
Um,
facts. But
uh,
but actually, I'm super excited this week because I think is that your
it's
the
my
violin
world's
sound?
smallest violin.
Oh my God, your dad jokes over there. No, but I think actually this week I'm gonna have a lot of fun because I
Oh,
think I
yeah.
mean you did pointed it out too, but like me and David going head to head,
This
I
is it.
think this is like the Detroit Lions at their peak playing who did they play like 2 years ago? I can't remember now. Like but basically oh it was yeah, okay. The Eagles or the Chiefs, like this is a preeminent game and it's just gonna be fun. So we'll see who comes out. If I win this week, there's a chance we tie. Is that right? We did the
Gonna
math
go.
right?
Yeah, it's gonna go to you because of the division tiebreakers, the
Right.
division record.
So there's very
But you,
possible.
but if you lose, you're dead. If you lose, you're in the wild card spot, and there's really no way that with 8 wins you're getting out because I don't. Well, all right. So humor me. Let's say
Okay.
your team bombs for 3 straight weeks. Like
Okay.
we're talking
Okay.
like you throw sub 100s, okay?
Okay.
Because I think
Okay.
that's what it's going to take.
Okay. Okay.
The Central goes 2 8 and 16. So I don't win out, but I win 2 games,
Okay.
and Paul or Adam wins out. And so we've got two Central relatively high scoring Central teams who are 120-ish points behind you right now.
Mhm.
Let's say Frank wins out because Tanner doesn't have the points to do this. But let's say Frank wins out, and let's say Frank scores some points, and all of the sudden if you lose by it, if you're to three, this is pretty crazy, but go on. If to 3 teams, if you average 40 points worse per week than those 3 teams, me, Frank, and then the winner of Paul and Adam this week,
Right.
you could technically find yourself at 8 and 6 looking on the outside looking in.
Let me do some quick math. Like what I would have to be. Like I hear what you're saying. I'm just trying to figure out like what's realistic here. So I'm like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Adam's at 1446. That's 100. So I currently have 137 points on Adam. Right. So to divide if we divided that by
I mean,
three.
Frank is the lowest guy. Frank is the lowest at 14.27. Honestly, it's actually closer to about 50 points a week, just doing the quick math. Like you would
Yeah.
have to be 50 points worse than Frank every week. And assuming that you're doing that, you're probably close to
Yeah.
on pace with us.
Right.
If we're doing if me and then the winner of Adam and Paul
But
do well.
I think
Like
it's fair to
it's
say
highly unlikely. It is
sure,
wildly unlikely.
sure. Like
There is it's
under
like a
like
one
5%.
it's like a 1 to 2% chance.
Right. I
So
think it's safe to say at the very least I'll be in, even if I'm not the one seed. Like that's for sure.
agreed.
But if I beat David this week and then I beat everybody else this week, or the rest of the weeks, right?
Then it's on.
I probably get the one seed and then it's
Not
on.
necessarily because David could just as easily beat Frank and Tanner, and then he would be the 1 seed. Like, do you think that
Uh,
Do you think
how
David's
does
going to?
that hold
Because
on a sec. How does
you're two
that
back of him, right? Yeah, you're two.
no?
Yeah, you're two back of David. So
Well the
you winning this week gets you to one back. That
we
means you
mean
need to win out, and you need David to lose to either Frank or Tanner.
well actually I'm 3-0 in the division right now. He's 2
Right,
and 1.
but you're 2 games back in total record. So
Oh, I see what you're
he's
saying.
10-1 and you're 8-3.
Got it.
So
Got it.
like, do we really think he's losing to Tanner?
No.
I think the voodoo magic has run
Well,
out.
I don't know.
I think he's run out of chickens to sacrifice. All right, the pagan gods are no longer answering.
Let me
I
see.
Tanner's dead.
Wow. Hear that, Tanner? Hear that, Tanner?
Dead, dead,
Yeah, he's starting Tyler Shaw. I don't even know who that is.
dead. That's the guy that's going to be throwing to my New Orleans stack. That's that guy.
That's bad. Tanner, we need to talk about your quarterback situation. That's
It's
bad.
not good.
Well,
Yeah.
let's talk about Frank and Tanner though. Let's talk
So
about them. So
so
David,
Frank is a live dog, man. Frank is a live dog. He beats Tanner this week. He's back to 500, and he may not even have to get to 8 wins if he scores
mm,
well. He's on the outside looking in terms of the points jockeying.
hmm
Um, and there's like I said, there's a world where 2 teams from the Central get to 8 wins.
yep.
But if 2 teams from the Central don't get to 8 wins, he needs to rack up the points in order to
Right.
get that 7-7 tiebreaker going.
What? And this is an interesting conversation for the next part too. But I think you're saying something exactly right, which is that all those 5 and 6 teams, right? Every single points they score between now and the end of this week might count, or now and the end of the rest of this period of the playoffs might count just as much as a win. Because
Yeah.
if the point differential is going to be the difference of on the bubble, and now you've got a couple 7-7 teams, like between now and the rest of this season, right? Like you've got to rack up those points.
I mean, count it with me too. Like I could win one game and still make the playoffs at 7-7. Like
Mhm. Yeah, no,
that
you're right.
that is a very it's unlikely, but it's not as unlikely as
Right.
Nathan winning the division, our division. Like
Points matter.
points
Points matter a
matter.
lot. Points matter. No,
All points matter.
I think I mean that's a good question. So okay, let me ask you this. So you're more objective. Who's going to win this week, me versus David, in the context of like the Northern Division? Going to figure out like where things are going to sift out, right? Who do you
What
think wins that matchup?
don't know what division you're talking about. There is no Northern Division.
Well, not with that attitude.
That's right. Not with that attitude. Let's see. Let's take a quick peek at your guys. I mean, what is going on with David's team? Why is his projection so low? Who is he
Yeah.
missing?
Hold on a second. I was looking at that earlier. It was hold on a second. It was
He's starting Xavier Leggett over Xavier Worthy.
Bucky Irving's out. He's
I
not
think
starting Worthy. He does not starting Stafford. He's starting Lamar, and Lamar was ranked lower for some reason, but that's not it.
no, I mean it's Bucky being out and it's Xavier Worthy being
Mhm.
sat for Xavier Leggett. I It seems like to me like he's starting the wrong Xavier, but you do you, boo. I think you win. I think your team's better. I think your team's better and deeper. This is one of the things with David where like and Drake London's out. That's the big name. That's the killer.
Right,
Um, Drake London being out, that hurts a lot. I
right.
think he's out fairly long term, isn't he? Wasn't that injury pretty bad?
I think you're right.
Um, I guess they called it a PCL sprain, so maybe he could be back in week 13, but that's not a gimme.
Yeah.
That's tough. That's tough.
Well, the other
Man,
thing
this
too about
division's going to be interesting.
the other thing too is that he does have Jonathan Taylor. I mean, it's like
Cheat code.
if this dude can keep it up, like it may not matter, you know.
Yeah.
But
I, yeah,
it
I think
depends.
you're going to win this week. I think you're going to win this week. I think I think
So
he's
so
you
if I
you
win this week, I mean, I'm assuming you think I beat Tanner, and do you think I beat Frank?
yes.
Because if I do, okay, if I do, then that's 11, right? It's
That's
11
11. Yeah.
straight. And that means David would then be lose
Need
ones, twos, so he'd
he
be
needs to win out. He needs to then beat Tanner and Frank.
to be
Um,
12-2.
I think he
Right.
beats Tanner, but like I don't know about Frank, especially if Irving and London are out, and he's got Frank right after you. Like it would be better for him if he played Tanner after you, but the schedule breaks bad for him, which
So
is not
really,
great for me.
but really the question comes down to the
And that's the
North.
important thing.
The question comes down to does David beat Frank?
If you
Right?
win this week, yes.
If I win
Yep.
this week, does he
Can
beat Frank? If he beats Frank, then yeah, he gets the number one seed.
well, and the real question to that and really the question for Frank versus Tanner is do the Eagles learn how to play offense or not? Like,
Mm,
can Jalen Hurts learn to throw the ball deep into semi-contested coverage with some accuracy? Does the offensive line learn how to block so that Saquon has holes and he can hit his big gains? Because I don't think it's Saquon missing holes. I don't think it's Saquon not having the same burst. It's the O line's not been as good. Um,
right.
you know, does Kevin Patullo learn how to call an offensive game plan? I don't believe in any of those things, to be perfectly honest. I think the Eagles'
Wow.
offensive line kind of is what it is at this point. I think Saquon is going to be fine, but not excellent. Like we're talking like low teens kind of thing.
I like how this just became a whole like mini conversation about real football.
But it's because I mean, it's Frank has the Eagles stack. He's got
Right.
Saquon and he's got Hurts,
I know.
and like I think Saquon's just going to be a 10 to 12 point player right now. And I think Jalen is fine. I think Jalen will fantasy wise will be fine, but I don't think he's going to drop a 30 spot on you. Like he's not playing like that right now. And if he does drop a 30 spot on you, it's probably because Saquon didn't get a touchdown and Saquon only scored 6. Like
Right.
because Jalen Hurts hit 3 tush pushes. Like that's the Eagles offense isn't good right now, and that puts a ceiling on Frank in a big way.
Well, let's do this too. Let's do a quick kind of like rapid fire lightning round. Thumbs up, thumbs down, right? Series of questions here. So just tell me your thoughts. We'll just go through. And if we disagree, we'll elaborate. We'll just go through it. So
Sure.
will David go undefeated the rest of the season? Thumbs up
No.
or thumbs down? So
Thumbs
thumbs
down.
down. Okay. Will we have a losing team make a playoffs? Thumbs up or thumbs down? Thumbs
Thumbs down.
down. Okay. Okay. Will we have a 7-7 team make the playoffs?
Thumbs up.
Thumbs up. Okay. If you had to call one, who do you think it's going to be?
One of the
Or
Central Division teams.
well, let's do this then. Like you get a four. So I'm saying it's going to be like Frank. Let me do this here. It'd be like
It,
Frank,
it,
Adam, Paul,
or me.
or
I mean,
you.
it could be Nathan. If you want to throw Nathan in, I don't think it's Nathan. In fact,
You
I don't think
could,
it can be Nathan. I think we'd like talked about how mathematically it can't be Nathan.
but it's one of those four,
Yeah, it's going to be
right?
one of those 4.
Um, thumbs up, thumbs down. Will Bradley knock someone out of the playoffs? Thumbs
No,
down.
because at this point we think Kirk and Josh are both in. Like the
Locked
only
in.
way he knocks somebody out of like I guess it could be Kirk because I think Bradley or excuse me Josh can stumble his way into an 8th win, and I don't see how an 8-win team misses the playoffs. Kirk could lose that, could lose to Josh, and now all of a sudden he's at 7 wins, and maybe points get ugly. I still don't think Kirk. I still think Kirk is in at 7-7 if it happens that way. I still don't see Bradley beating Kirk this week. So
Okay. Will Zach hit 4 wins? Thumbs up, thumbs down.
what's he at right now? 3?
3.
Yeah.
Okay, he's going. Okay, okay.
Sorry,
Um,
Bradley.
okay, so let's do a quick thumbs up, thumbs down of these 4 or 5 people. Who's going to make the playoffs? Paul. I'm going to say thumbs down.
I
Thumbs
think he's
up.
in.
Okay. Okay. Adam.
It's the Jamar Chase thing.
Yeah,
It's
I
the
get it.
Jamar Chase thing. I think this that enables Paul to win this week, and then I think
Interesting.
Paul at 7 wins gets in, and maybe he beats me and it's 8 wins.
That's a totally valid theory. So Adam, up or down? Down. Okay, I'm saying I think he's in. I think he's in. Frank, up or down? Who's in? Down. Oh, you don't think he's in? Really? Okay, wow. I'm actually on the fence. I'm not sure. I'm gonna root for my fellow
it's his
member from the
point.
north.
It's his point totals. It's his point totals. That's
I
the
just
problem.
I think
A
you're down on him because he's got the Eagles. That's what I think.
a little bit. But like, look at his team. He's starting Darnell Mooney, who I
Okay, hold
know
on.
Drake. Okay, all right, sorry.
Lightning round, lightning round. Tanner, thumbs up, thumbs down, playoffs.
Why? Why are we asking this question?
Okay, okay. No, here's
Thank
the
you for
real
your
question.
service, Tanner. But like,
Right, right. Here's the real question. Okay, will Nathan pull out the most like magical hat out of rabbit and do a run the rest of the season?
still a better question than will Tanner make the playoffs? But no,
No, okay, I agree with you.
no. It's like, look, could he win all 3 games? It's possible. Like that's not the craziest part. The craziest part is the help that he would need to get in order to make that relevant.
Yep.
That's the crazy part.
Right. It's just, but it's going to be interesting to watch the whole thing play out. So,
Mhm.
who will get to? This is a double thumbs up, thumbs down. Who will get to 8 wins? Josh, yes or no? Josh, Kirk. I'm going to say yes. Yeah,
Yeah.
Kirk gets 8 wins for sure. And then last but most important, will Jordan get the number 1 seed? He's like, I'm gonna. No. Oh
I'm just playing the odds here, really. Like
no.
I,
Yeah.
you could still like. I don't think either of you guys have had a player go this week. You could still lose.
Right.
Um,
Totally.
and like I think David and Frank is a coin flip at this point, unless David's big guns get back and Irving, and if even one of them gets back, that moves a little bit towards a lean David to me. And
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah. This
that's
is that last question is a purely vanity question
of course.
for no one else.
Yes, yes. Well, I sorry I couldn't flatter your vanity.
No, no, it's fine. It's fine. I can handle it. So, no, but those are my big thumbs up, thumbs up. What are your observations like the rest of this season? Like what are the big things you're thinking about?
To me, the most interesting thing is the Central Division. I know that's it's talking of vanity, right? But like it's the
Legitimately.
potentials are so varied. I think three teams legitimately have a shot here. I think two of them will make it, and I think that the team that misses out will be the best team to miss out on the playoffs.
Wait,
So
really? So
yeah.
wait, go through that. The team that misses
I
out were
think
the best team.
whichever of the three of us misses the playoffs, me, Paul,
Oh,
Adam, I think we are the best team not in the playoffs. Now, I'm not saying the team that
got
missed out deserved to be in the playoffs.
got it.
I think that all three, um, I think that all six of the teams in the playoffs are just as good or better than the third team in the Central.
Right.
Um, but I do think that like that roster, whichever roster it is, whether it's me, Adam, or Paul, is better than anybody else's roster that missed the playoffs.
Got it.
Cleanly, I'll say.
I think
I like Dan's team, but Frank's the only one with a shout at it. Even
I think that's fair. I think that's fair. Well, and I know we're probably coming up closer on time here. Do you want to go
Mhm.
over our bold predictions real quick and just see
Yeah,
what the
yeah. So
recap was?
let's go over our bold predictions. Jordan, your bold prediction: three South Division teams are going to make it in. That one is. Yeah.
Hey, but here's in my defense, right? The two that are right have the best records outside of like me and David, right? Outside of
So they
like
have the third and fourth best record
so they're the best. They're the
out
third
of
worst
six
in the
teams in
league.
the
Okay,
playoffs.
you're good.
Okay,
You're
well,
good.
okay,
You're good.
and they have the weakest division because if you want to pull up your little spreadsheet about
Oh,
division records, yes, the East has the best record. The East is the best division. The Central is clearly the second best division, and the South is the worst division. So,
I'm gonna turn off his mic real quick and just say what he meant to say was the North. Okay, here we go. But yeah,
anyways,
yes.
in terms of how you thought they were going in it, it looks like you might be close. You have yourself at the one seed, which is definitely a possibility. David would be at the four seed then, which is how that would go if you overcome David.
Yep.
You have Adam at the two seed, which I don't think that's going to happen. I don't think it can. But you have Kirk at the three seed, so you have Kirk winning that division, and that's what you're sticking with right now. Puts Josh at the five seed, and then you had Zach at the six seed.
Yep.
But I'm guessing if I asked you if you want to change that, do you want to change that? Actually, I'll throw the open ended question.
Flip that
Uh,
around.
do you want to change who wins the Central and which team gets the sixth seed? I'll
Oh,
ask it that way.
that is going to be more complicated. Shoot. Okay, so yeah, I would say David and I are definitely in. Let me see here. Let me put
I
this.
assume you're not changing the one and the four because you said you believed you're going to overtake them.
Yeah, I think that's correct. I
We'll
think so.
move. We'll move
Well, no,
Kirk up
I
to.
just if I'm being smart here, like I would still keep David. I think I'll beat David in this week's game, but because he's got that edge on total wins, he
You
can
said
win
you
out.
thought you were going to get the one seed, sir.
Hold on, hold on. This is where the money. This is
you
where the
can't
money.
hedge. You can't bet both sides. This is this is not how this works.
Two different bets. You
You
can bet
don't
whatever
get
you
to do
want.
this.
This is how it
No,
works in Vegas. You can bet
no.
one side and the other. Come on.
Your question is Central Division winner and the sixth seed. You don't get to. You're not getting to
No, but like,
switch on this.
but legitimately, I think I would win this week. And I really do think like there's a
Yeah,
chance David would fall out. But like if we're being serious here, right? I think David will hold on to that one seed. I
you
think
really
that's just
okay.
looking at the facts
So
for
what you
sure.
were saying
For
is
sure.
basically ignore the first 30 minutes of this podcast, and
I said it was for
it
my
was all
ego. I said it was for my ego. Hello. Okay, so yeah, but legitimately, I think David would win out. I think
okay.
so. Like I think
All
I'll
right.
beat him this week. He'll win out. He'll be number one seed. I would be fourth, right, in that
Okay.
sense. I think I'll hold
Okay.
on. But then, oh man, I think, man, this is rough. I think Kirk is going to overtake the South. I think he would get that second seed. I think that would make Josh the fifth seed. And then it comes down to the Central. Like who's going to win that?
Yeah.
Man,
So
that
so do you still think Adam is winning the Central? First question. Establish
mm,
who you think is going to win the Central.
this is hard.
Yeah, it is. That's what makes the Central so juicy.
I
That's what
think
makes it so fun. If you're not me or Paul or Adam or Nathan.
I think I'm keeping Adam at three. I
Okay.
think I'm keeping Adam at three, but the question is who's sixth? Is it you,
Is,
Evan? Is it Paul? I don't think it's
or
Nathan.
is it Frank? Actually, it can't be Frank. If you think David wins out, which you just said,
I think
Frank would
so.
have 2 losses and he won't get the 7 wins.
I think so. So the
So
question is it Adam or you? Or is it Evan or Paul?
is it
Um,
Evan or Paul? Yeah.
golly, I think,
And I believe we're a week 14 matchup. I think it's the final week of the season is how we
man,
match
that
up.
is so hard to pick.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Yeah.
I think I'm gonna have to go with yours. Let me see here. I think I'm gonna have to go with you. Last couple weeks especially. I think so. I think Paul, now that I'm looking at it, I think he might barely lose out. But let me look at his team real quick to make
You hear
sure I'm
that,
not.
Paul? He loves me more than you now.
Well, when you get your hoodie, right, and you can manage to have a 4-7 season at UNC, man.
uh,
Yeah, I think I'm gonna go with you.
well,
Go with you.
okay. I'm flattered.
Well, the other
We'll
thing
see.
too is like legitimately getting Kyron Williams and that those like I mean you got a stable of running backs that's really good. And if you got Dak on top, Devontae, if he can I mean he's done okay.
He's a touchdown machine, man. Like you would be shocked. He's a top 15 wideout, I believe. I haven't
Okay.
checked, but I was checking a couple weeks ago. He's legitimately a top 15 wideout in fantasy football because he scores so many freaking touchdowns. Like people don't value him because he's old and he's not sexy and he's not putting up, a 25-30 spot, but he's putting up 15 to 18 week in and 14 to 18 week in and week out.
Right.
On the back of 60 yards, 6 catches, and a touchdown. Like,
Man.
it,
I think I'm gonna go with you. I think so. Yeah. I'm looking at his record and stuff, but I think so. So we'll see. So really until you play Paul last week,
I played Paul the last
season,
week. Yeah,
that could literally
that
determine if
could
you're in or out.
it could be a play-in game. It really could. It really could. It's
Man,
yeah. We'll see.
that's
We'll see.
exciting.
I mean, if already at 8 wins at that point, it less so. And
Yeah.
there's a chance that happens, but like, there's also a good chance it doesn't. So, all right. So you got me. Thank you. So my bold prediction: two central teams in, and I'm sticking with it. I think that it's not a lock at this point, but I think the South is gone. We know that, and I just don't think Frank can do it. I don't think Frank is gonna. I certainly don't think he's getting to 8 wins, and I don't think 7 wins is going to be enough for his team. I do think his team is the weakest of Paul, Adam, and me and myself. Um,
Really? Yeah.
yeah, I do. So I don't think he's already at a 10-point deficit to me, and with that the 24-point deficit to Adam, and somewhere in the middle for Paul. Like I just yes, that's overcomable. That's not insurmountable, but I think his roster is also worse than ours.
Mm,
So and unless the Eagles revert to 2024 form, in which case then maybe, but it could
man,
be too little,
yeah.
too late still. So yeah. So anyways, two central teams. Jordan, I've got at the 1 seed. Um, I said David earlier, and unlike you, I'm gonna actually stick to my guns and be a man. So I'm gonna have to change it from my prediction from you to David, which is gonna put you as the 4 seed.
That's fine.
This is what it looks like to be a man, to be able to admit when you're wrong, something you would know nothing about. So let this be a lesson for you. Hopefully,
Thank you.
and will
Thank you.
thank me later.
I'm
Um,
learning so much from you. So much.
Indeed, about humility too.
Yeah.
I've got Josh at the 2 seed, and I said earlier that Kirk was going to overcome him, so I'm gonna flip to Kirk there too. Um,
So
I
Kirk is
Kirk
the
is two, Kirk will be 2, and Josh will be 5.
okay.
I stand by the East Division winner is 1, and the South Division winner is 2. Had that, I'm just flip flopping the teams there. Division leader, I had Adam at 3.
Mm, that's hard.
So here's the deal. I think that Paul and I make the playoffs.
Say that again. You think
I
what?
think Paul and I make the playoffs
Oh, over Adam. Wow.
over Adam. I do.
Wow. And I think that trade you did too could have tipped the scales. I think that's a
I just
fair
don't really want to say that I'm going to win the division. Like, but if I believe that,
because you're afraid to, or
yes,
because
yes, because I'm
you're
a coward. Because I'm a coward, and I refuse to believe. Believing hurts. I'm a
this.
fan. My childhood was the '90s Phillies. My teenage years was the early 2000s Eagles.
I
I,
just want
I
to. I just
I
want to
I
rewind like
was
2 minutes
no,
ago
no, no, stop. I'm
when you
going.
talked
I
about.
was I was 10 years old when the Flyers got swept by the Detroit Red Wings in the Stanley Cup Finals, and my dad is a huge Red Wings fan, and he got the DVD or the VHS box set for Christmas. It would ruined my Christmas. I cannot believe. I know the Eagles have won 2 Super Bowls. I know the Phillies have won a World Series since then. I cannot believe. I refuse to believe. Hope is the enemy of all that is good. Hope raises you up to crush you further. So I'm going to say Paul, and then I'm going to say myself as 6 because I think I make the playoffs. I really do. I'm sticking with that, but I'm going to swap Adam and Paul.
I just want to rewind like 5 minutes where you said be a man and stick with what you said.
I said Adam initially.
Oh, okay. I
I,
thought you said you didn't. Got it. Okay.
no, I said initially I had Adam as the 3 and me as the 6. So I'm just going to swap Adam and Paul, and I'm going to stick with myself at the 6.
Like a man.
Like man,
Yeah, no, I get
well,
that.
I don't feel good about it. I don't feel good about the next 3 weeks. It's going to be miserable. It's going to be fun.
You Philly people are so different. Like I've never met a group of people that like is opposed to being like
Happy,
excited.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah. It's like,
Happiness is just the first step in getting cut down.
oh my
You
God.
heard the saying, "Pride
Oh,
goes before the fall." Happiness goes before the fall, my friend. Happiness goes
That's the
before
Philly
the
saying.
fall. Hmm.
No, we forgot to mention we had a code word we were going to say at the beginning of
Oh
this
yeah, we did.
for Josh to see if he actually listens. So, okay, the code word for Josh, you can just text us this after you hear it, is Cracker Barrel. So if you hear Cracker Barrel and text Cracker Barrel, we will know that you
That's
listened to this whole podcast.
so
He's
there's
not
no
going to
way.
listen to it. He's not listening to it.
How many beers would you buy me if he listens to this
How many
whole thing?
what?
How many beers would you buy me if he listens to
Oh,
this
we
whole
should make,
thing?
you want to make a bet? You want to make a bet? Let's make a bet. Okay, if we'll make a bet, I'll buy you a 6 pack. I'll buy you a
I
six
do
pack.
6 pack.
I'll buy you a
Okay.
6 pack. If he listens and says that, but you can't text him and say, Josh, I need you to listen to this and tell me
All
Cracker
right.
Barrel.
I will. I
Can't do
promise.
that.
I
And
promise. I promise.
no one else who listens to this can tell
Nope.
Josh to do that. It has to be just Josh. So if you're other people are watching us, so Kirk or other people, do not text Josh, right? If you do that, Kirk or whoever does it owes you
Was
the
the
six
beers?
pack.
That's right. Okay.
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 So we'll see if he's not
There's
Josh.
no chance I'm getting that six
Josh
pack.
is so busy. He's in like 18 leagues. This is like I mean this is his favorite. We
And
know
like
that Josh
apparent
don't play.
of obviously, but apparently he's like winning in like 70, 80% of them. So at least that's what he tells us. He's also a Missouri guy, so a known liar. Rock chalk Jayhawk. Um,
That's Kansas.
yes, that's where my grandparents are from.
That's not Missouri.
Yeah, exactly. Have you started the border war? Do you know what started the Civil War? Do you
Yeah.
understand history?
Yeah, yeah. I also know
Do you
geography, and
know how
Kansas is not
bleeding
Missouri.
Kansas? Do you know about bleeding Kansas? Yeah, Kansas is not Missouri, and we're
No,
proud of
no,
that.
no, no.
Free
Please,
state,
please,
free state,
please mansplain to me, please. I'd love
not
to know.
not into that slavery thing, against people coming over our border and killing our people, spilling Kansan blood on Kansan soil, on free Kansan soil. So
Right.
all you Missouri folks can get wrecked.
So anyway, Cracker Barrel.
Cracker Barrel.
Cracker Barrel.
Cracker Barrel.
He's not gonna say it. I guarantee like I almost guarantee he's not gonna know it. He's just
Not a
not.
chance. Not
Not
a chance. Well, on that note, as we've hit the highest of highs, we will bid you all adieu and may your fantasy football dreams come true.